Hey everybody, welcome back to Shapes.io. I'm Joe Mama, your host. So as I said we'd set up an array that was going to be creating these Tier VI shapes, these level 20, it used to be level 18, but level 20 shapes. You can see here, they're coming out complete, and if you're at a loss as to how to make one of these things, how to make a machine that will create that shape, then just pause the video right here and just copy basically this design right here, and then you can see which way you feed in the gray squares and the white circles, and just copy that, and that will make the shape for you. Let me escape out of that. And I've got 8 of these things set up, as you can see, and they're plugging away and they're chewing on this design. And now I'm continuing to make them because we need them to tier up. And let me show you what's going on here. Now, obviously, this shape, we're making a whole bunch of them. The Tier 6 shape, actually, this is the Tier 7 shape. I take that back. It's not Tier 6, it's Tier 7. And so we are busily making those, and so I will upgrade as needed. Now, as some of you may have seen in my little short video, take a look at this bad boy. We're going to come back to that, but I want to show you something else first. So yes, we've got this shape being made and it's great. We've plugged right through it, but then let's get to the hub and take a look. I mean, you can see it in the far left side of the screen there. But look at this freaking Beetlejuice cat in the hat red and white piece of crap here. I saw that and immediately freaked out. I'm like, oh my goodness, look what that thing is. If we hit the little information button next to it, we can see that it's 4 layers of this. I'm like, oh my goodness, what a pain in the neck. I've got to make white circles and red circles, and then 4 of each, and oh my gosh, what a nightmare. And then it's going to be tedious. It's not that it would be very, hard to figure out. It's easy to figure out how to do it. It's just make the layers and stack them. But I'm like, oh man, that's going to be tedious, because white, anytime you have to make white, then it's like, well, I got to mix 3 colors, and now I got to do it 4 times. It's going to suck. And then it hit me. I'm like, wait a second. I'm a pack rat, and I've just been vindicated. My pack ratness has just been vindicated. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, a pack rat is something who never throws things away. Joe, that's called being a hoarder. Just shut up. Shut up. No, a pack rat. I don't care if I've got a ton of newspapers around the house stacked here and there. I don't care if there's the bodies of 26 cats hidden in those things. I don't care. One day it might prove useful, and this just validated that. So, no, I don't really have dead cats in my house. But take a look at something. You remember how I said in the last video that there was a part of this, my previous construction, that I was going to delete, to throw away, like all of this right here? Well, guess what this is making? Yeah, this is making those little components for those mints, right? Look at this. This is exactly what we're looking for, and we just need 4 of them stacked on top of each other. So I thought about it, and I'm like, all I need to do is rotate every other one, and I can stack them. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. I already had the means to make these shapes. Well, thank goodness I didn't delete that. Thank goodness I didn't delete that thing, because there we go. I've just taking what we have existing. We're making, what is that? Basically 4 a second. And let me look over here and see if it's sort of keeping up, sort of, kind of, but I imagine we could use the stackers and make even more. So there we go. So I put it in this trash thing here, just kind of for dramatic effect, but to show to basically hold it in reserve here, hold that secret. But now that we've revealed it, we're going to go ahead and bring it right into the hub, and we're going to start making these things. And I think, I mean, it's not difficult at all. So there you go. If you've made these shapes and made a bunch of them, don't delete that part of your factory just yet, because for level 21, that's going to be needed. Also, look down here. The quad painter is a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. It is actually not a painter that paints. What did I say? What did the double painter say? That it was a painter that makes, you know, what? Colors the shapes on the left with the inputs and the color from the top input, and it makes 2 items. It paints 2 items at a time with 1 bit of paint. I thought this would make 4 items at a time with 1 bit of paint, but in fact, look at this. We've opened up the wires layer, and this painter actually takes 4 different types of paint and will vary what it paints the object coming in from the left based on the wired input. Now if we hit the E key, we can go to the wires layer and we can start hooking things up. But at the moment, I'm honestly not sure how to do this, so we're going to hold off for now on how to employ it. But, okay, let's come out of there, and we'll concentrate on the basic construction of stuff, and then maybe for free play, maybe we'll dabble with wires. I really want to. I mean, that's the whole point of this, was to reveal that. We finally unlocked wires, but we need to figure out exactly what wires does for us, how we can employ it. Because yes, we've got the capability, but we don't really know how to employ it. But I'm kind of thinking that I would like to increase the capacity of our well, this thing. I mean, look at this. I think these stackers and everything are working way slower than they have to. I think we can get more out of them, to be honest. I think we just need to figure out how to do it, figure out how the pathing goes, and that would help us out. Yeah, because the way I see it, right here, the holdup is this stacking operation right here. That seems to be the holdup, and if we could double that up, then we could increase the number of these coming into the facility, into the hub. But you know what? We're not going to worry about that right now. That's probably something I could do off camera. Besides, I'm not even certain that we're going to need this piece again, because I'm not seeing it on this list. Instead, I'm seeing this Red Bull looking rocket thing. Now, immediately I saw this. Again, if you saw that video, I kind of like, what the hell? This is going to be a pain in the neck. It's going to be 4 layers, and they're asymmetric, and okay, let's take a look. And then I looked at the information and realized, okay, well, yes, it takes a white circle. It apparently takes a red circle. It takes a blue circle and a gray circle. And it takes a 4-pointed star that's been sliced, and the points have been put on different layers. As you can see, I'm thinking it goes, this is layer 1, this is the base layer, this is layer 2, and then layer 3 and layer 4. Now the beautiful thing here, as convoluted as it looks, the beautiful thing here is that unlike the level 20 layer, unlike level 20, you can see that there's no special instructions here. There's no trickery, if you will. Let's come out of this and go to here, and you're going to see, yeah, 2 simple layers, right? The problem is, you can't just place this layer right up and get right onto the first layer. You cannot just stack the layers. This is very deceiving. As I said in my video, which again, I'll put a card up here on the corner, up in the upper right corner, if you need help making this shape. But as I said in that video, the only way to make this shape is you have to stack, basically, you have to stack some stuff such that there is 1/4 where part of the second layer is not resting on anything on the first layer, and that you can do that. You can make those shapes, but then when you cut this piece free, you can't just cut it free of everything else. You have to slice it with a double slicer, not a quad slicer, so that part of the first layer is still in that slice. Because as long as there's a first layer reference, then the computer won't take this second layer and collapse it to the first layer. But if you were to do this right here and try to separate just this second layer piece, the computer will default and collapse it to the first layer. That's what it does. So, but fortunately, so, I mean, that's a little bit of trickery, because this makes you think that, oh, I just make one of these and make one of these and put them together. But I promise you, you will never, ever, ever be able to make one of these all by itself. It will not happen. So, if you try to stack a quarter square in the second layer all by itself onto the first layer where there's nothing under that quarter, this will basically just fall to the first layer and look just like this square, and you'll just have a basically checkerboard Uno football, and that's it. So anyway, I go into detail on that. I won't belabor it here, but there's no trickery here. I've studied this, and there doesn't seem to be any real trickery. This is the second layer. Oh, you know what? Actually, yes, there is. There is a little bit of trickery. There is a little bit of trickery. There is. Well, that's interesting. There is a little bit of trickery here. Oh. Oh. See, here's what would happen. Here is what would happen. Here is why this won't work. Oh boy, so now I just realized that. So not only is this very convoluted, it is not so straightforward. When I say convoluted, not only is it very complicated, it's not so straightforward, because what you have to do, this suggests that you can just make two opposing quarters of a red circle, stack them together, and bring in this quarter point, this quarter star, and just mesh it together. And then you would take the second layer, you'd stack this on top of this. But what's going to happen when you take this whole third layer and stack it on top? It's going to collapse to the second layer. Oh, that could be interesting. And then this is supposed to be in the fourth layer, but you'd end up stacking it on the third layer, because this third layer would collapse to the second layer. So the only way to make this work is if you stack this layer, this second layer thing, and weld it to one of these third layers, to these third layer parts. Okay. And then slice whatever shape you have to make. Oh. Okay. So basically, you have to set it up. Okay, in the final shape, this will be in the first layer. But when it comes to staging the parts, prior to stacking, you need to make one of these, so this is in the first layer. Prior to the final stacking, this needs to be in the first layer. And one of these slices right here, one of these quarter circles, needs to be in the second layer. Very, very, very interesting. Okay. Well, this is something I'm going to work on, I think. And I expect that is going to be a time consumer right there. But here's what's going to happen. I am going to come back, and in the meantime, when we come back, I am hoping that, first of all, that that stacked target thing that it kind of looks like a target, the level 21 shape. We'll hopefully by then we'll have gathered enough of those, but I'm not going to worry so much about increasing production of those because it looks like a one-off shape, and the next shape will be different, and it doesn't appear to be one of the shapes needed for tiering up. But in the meantime, I'll work on this problem, and I will hopefully have a solution for you, because this is as convoluted as I thought. It is both complicated and deceiving. We'll figure this out. So we'll be back in a little bit. Well, shut the front door. I think I figured it out. Take a look at this convoluted piece of crap. Take a still shot. Whatever you have to do, this is what you need to make. And here's proof. Here's the shape coming out of here. And oh my goodness, was this a mental pain in the butt. I'm here to tell you, I can't begin to tell you how I came to the conclusion that this thing works, other than the key is how you stack these things. It's this shape right here. I don't know what else to tell you. The key is this shape, and stacking this on top of a shape kind of like one that we need for the Tier 18, used to be Tier 18, is now the Tier 20 shape. I will simply tell you that you have to stack this on top of that, and then you... so silly. But, okay, you need to make the little Red Bull stickers here, the little Red Bull circle. Let's see if I go to the F here and then do the info. I will simply tell you that you need to make this, the Red Bull colors, and then you make the rocket. Okay, now the rocket was the difficult part, but basically the key is this white piece is the key that holds everything together. If this wasn't part of the design, it would not work, at least the way I have it assembled. And but anyway, it's very difficult for me to describe. I know what I was doing. I wasn't functioning blindly, but I can tell you that I compressed it so you can't really see every step. Just understand that this is the machine you have to make, and the Cliff Notes version is this was the key. This has to be stacked so that way when this circle becomes the fourth layer of the upper half, I guess that's the best way to say it, this circle needs to be made the fourth layer of the upper half, and this third layer is stuck to it. And here's the other key, you can't combine this circle. I actually made this into a circle and then had to slice it and then put each slice in at different times, and then it was able to work. But if I made this into a full circle, which would have been a whole lot easier, and then stacked the rocket shape on top of it, it collapses and doesn't work. That's all I can tell you. But in any case, that... Again, take a still shot, whatever it is you have to do, but that's your shape, and your inputs are gray circles, blue circles, red stars, and white circles. 5 different shapes, but this machine will put everything where it needs to go, and it will spit out your little Red Bull rocket. So then the next key is just to get it to the hub. And let's go ahead and do that, and when the hub accepts it, then I think we can call this an episode. How about that? Okay, so there you have it, and now we look here and we can see that yes, we did indeed create the proper shape, and the hub is accepting it. Fan-frickin-tastic. Now I will tell you, and for full disclosure, I had to do a thing just to make sure that no special tools were needed, because I mean, if there was some kind of special stacker that doesn't get unlocked until much later, then I wanted to know that. So I went ahead to the wiki page, to the fan wiki, and I looked at a list of upcoming technologies and realized that none of them have any. They mostly have to do with wires. None of them have anything to do with things that could have helped us solve this any easier. But I can promise you I did not look at any answers. This is my design, 100%. Now, it may mirror somebody else's design. That is purely by accident, but this is mine. So I just want to pass that on. So let's take one more look at this thing. So there you go. Basically, it is, you know what, let's go ahead and copy it so there's no confusion as to what you actually have to make to produce this shape. And let's go to rubber stamp land. So there you go. That is the shape. And again, we have gray circles come in here, blue circles come in here, and red circles come in here, red stars come in here, and white circles come in here in that order. So that's what you need to make in order to solve it. And sneak peek, I did find out that I took a look at the shapes that are in the future, and none are as crazy as this one, unless there's a special tier shape that we don't know about, a tiering up shape. I don't know, but whatever the case, it looks like this is probably, this shape right here is the most difficult we've had to deal with. Excellent job, devs. It was a challenge, but I did it. We've solved it, and hopefully you found this useful. And I'll probably try to make this a standalone video as well, or this, at least this portion of it, a standalone video. On the next video, we'll continue on the other layers, the other levels, and all right, I hope you found this useful, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.